At 1 o'clock, I am Joy Ken Abakweya. Presence of some security personnel were observed early this morning at the Ondo State House of Assembly premises at Alagbaka. Nta2 News gathered that the lawmakers were inside, not allowing journalists to gain access into the complex. All efforts to reach out to the chairman of the House Committee on Information, Honorable Benga Omole, to give us an insight to what is happening were futile. To COVID-19 now, Nigeria has recorded 575 new cases of COVID-19 in 20 states of the Federation, including the FCT. The breakdown shows that Lagos has 123, FCT 100, Delta 58, Edo 52, Ogun State has 42, Katsina 24, Bayelsa 23, Rivers State has 22, Borno 19, while Plateau and Ondo states have 18 each. Oyo State has 17, Kwara 15, Osun 13, Enugu 9, Nasarawa 7, Abia 6, and Cross River 5. Still on the list of new cases, Kaduna has 3, while Ekiti State has 1. The total confirmed cases of COVID-19 in the country as of 6th July 2020 is 29,286. 11,828 patients have so far been discharged after recovery, while 654 deaths have been recorded. And still on COVID-19, the chairman of the Presidential Task Force on COVID-19 and secretary to the government of the Federation, Boss Mustafa, says the task force will continue to sustain its sensitization efforts to curtailing the spread of the virus. He stated this at the daily briefing on the update of the pandemic in Abuja. He said since COVID-19 is a global health challenge, the task force will continue to collaborate with relevant global bodies on how to reduce the curve of the virus spread in Nigeria. Protecting tomorrow's leaders today, especially in this era of coronavirus pandemic, is paramount, with government's directive that schools partially reopen. Correspondent has raised the safety requirements for the resumption of academic activities.
For several months, many parents and schools adopted the virtual learning system to engage pupils and students. This alternative has saved the gap following the closure of schools, in line with the stay-at-home guidelines for the prevention of coronavirus.
I take Zoom classes, and I also try to memorize the Holy Quran.
Lagos State government is set to partially reopen schools for those in transitional classes to return to classrooms.
The commencement date for this will be from Monday, August the 3rd, 2020.
Yes, I'm very happy. We've basically been preparing for this our entire lives.
Parents have raised concerns over certain issues.
Where I have concerns is with the teachers. Most of them come by bus to school. That's a concern. So the teachers and administrators have to protect themselves very well so that they don't pick up anything and pass on to the students.
Let them know they are not to share any of their personal effects with anybody. Do not exchange face masks or face shields or anything like that with anybody. Stick to your own thing.
We are appealing to them to ensure that they provide for our students at least nose masks.
The students are preparing mentally and otherwise after weeks of being closeted. In Lagos, Amaka O, Nta2 News.
Desperate times call for desperate measures, and this certainly is the mindset of scientists as they continue to search for the coronavirus vaccine. Instead of waiting for a scientific breakthrough, some people, out of sheer desperation, are brewing questionable concoctions for consumptions, claiming the substances can cure or prevent coronavirus. Nta2 News reports.
Since the outbreak of the coronavirus in Wuhan, China, nations of the world have been mourning, ailing and fretting. Although measures like regular hand washing, use of hand sanitizers, maintaining physical and social distancing, as well as wearing face masks are in place as stipulated by World Health Organization to curb the spread of the virus. New cases have continued to emerge, with more deaths recorded. Researchers and scientists are relentless in the search for a permanent cure for the virus. While humanity awaits the outcome, some Nigerians, out of desperation and apprehension, have resorted to seeking quick solutions, thereby patronizing local herb dealers. For instance, Sammy is a local herb dealer. She attests to enjoying high patronage due to COVID-19.
People do come around, I want to prevent corona, I want to prevent corona, so we give them. We have prevention for it, like neem leaf, lemongrass and turmeric, ginger. You boil everything together and you drink. No kata, nothing, you feel all right.
Like Sammy, Mama Odwa, another dealer, says this herbal mixture can help prevent coronavirus.
You will say, he go get a cough, keep this thing. I will give her medicine, he will go. Immediately he will go. I know one doctor called last week. I treat her. God will help me to treat her. He don't go.
Yes, dogoyaro leaves, lemongrass, ginger and garlic are in high demand this period for obvious reasons. Other respondents are doubtful of the accurate dosage of the virus herbal potions.
How do they know that it can cure coronavirus? How do they know it can cure? How many people they cure? Let them come out and tell the whole world this is the amount of the people, this is the quantity of the people who use native medicine and cure. Let them come out and tell the whole world so that the medical doctors will look after that.
With unanswered questions from the submissions of respondents and herbal dealers, I approached the Nigerian Institute of Medical Research, a body charged with the responsibility of carrying out researches for infections like COVID-19.
We haven't had any proof to show that those things cure COVID-19 or prevent COVID-19. There is nothing that has shown that, no research that has shown that. So, but because there are things that people have been used to, they've been eating it for years, we are not bothered if they do. It's just that when they start to mix them together, and it may produce something else which may be toxic. So we like to tell the public to be a bit careful on some of these things that they buy and use.
Listen to more.
We are now working on what people will probably consider impossible in Nigeria. I think some people may even be laughing as I'm speaking. Vaccine production. Because we have the whole genome of the virus sequenced.
Surprisingly, these local herb dealers agree to World Health Organization's directives. And for these respondents, creating more awareness on the dangers of not adhering to safety rules by WHO and the dangers of consuming these suspicious drinks would drastically aid the pushback against COVID-19. In Lagos, Annie Daniels, Nta News.
Time now for a break. More stories when we return. Do stay.
Yes, say coronavirus na rich man sickness. Na lie. Coronavirus will affect anybody. Your own part now to make sure say you no catch them and you no spread them. To they maintain social distance and to they wash your hand well. Now your own today tip to make sure say you no follow them. They spread fake news up and down for social media. Make sure say you only follow public health advice where come from World Health Organization and health authorities within your country. Rumor fit kill. Ensure say you dey follow new informate on top the coronavirus gbege and make sure say the only website where you go click na the real one o. No forget, they always wash your hand and stay safe.
Experience unlimited super-fast internet access from Ntel 4G. Ntel. Live more.
Coronavirus. Ẹ̀lì ti gbọ́ pé àwọn olówó làrùn coronavirus tó ń jà ràn káàkiri àgbáyé irọ́ pátápátá gbáà ni kò sótítọ́ kankan bẹ́ẹ̀. Àrùn coronavirus kò yọ ọmọdé kò yọ àgbà sílẹ̀ bẹ́ẹ̀ ni kò sì yọ tálákà sílẹ̀ nítorí náà kò sẹ́ni tí kò lè mú. Ohun tí a lè ṣe ni kí gbogbo wa fọwọ́sowọ́pọ̀ láti kojú àrùn náà nípa fífọwọ́ wa àti yíyàgò fúnra ẹni. Ọ̀nà kan gbòógì tí a lè gbà láti dẹ́kun ayédèrú ìròyìn ni kí a gbọ́ ìmọ̀ràn táwọn elétò ìlera lórílẹ̀‐èdè Nàìjíríà bá fi léde fún wa. Ìròyìn òfégè ń pani o nítorí náà ẹ ṣèwádìí gbogbo ìròyìn tí ẹ bá rí dáadáa. Mo lè fi dá yín lójú pé ìròyìn tí ẹ bá rí lórí ìkànnì BBC News Yorùbá ìròyìn tó dátọ́ ni ẹ̀rọ tí kẹ́ ẹ fọwọ́ yín ní gbogbo ìgbà ẹ wà lálàáfíà ó tún dọ̀la.
Thanks for staying tuned. There are indications that the third mainland bridge in Lagos may be shut for maintenance and repair work later in the month. This was confirmed by the Federal Controller of Works in Lagos, Olukayode Pupola. According to him, consultations are ongoing for another phase of repair works to begin on the 11.8-kilometer bridge. Popola explains that the work will commence on the onward mainland section of the bridge, and the ministry is working with relevant agencies to perfect traffic during the period. The bridge has gone through a series of repair works and was last shut in August 2019 for a 3-day investigative maintenance check. Meanwhile, the recent flooding experienced in parts of Lagos State brought discomfort and despair to several residents who predict that the city may soon lose its beauty if the trend persists. After taking an objective look at the issue, Annie Daniels arrived at a conclusion on the way forward. Here's what she thinks.
Lagos, Nigeria's commercial hub, is fondly called the center of excellence. And why not? The city is excellent in terms of its mega status due to economic gains arising from its dense population and abundant human resources. Check out the network of roads. And of course, its popular bridges that link the mainland to the island. They are beautifully suspended over the lagoon. A drive-through feels like tourism experience. What is Lagos without its aquaculture? The Atlantic Ocean is within reach, and from the sandy shores, a traveler can journey into some countries within the West African sub-region and even beyond the continent. One cannot also overlook the numerous pedestrian bridges erected for safety over the busy routes, as well as the thousands of modern architecture that make the island appear Western. Do you know where the city and the toga echo for show? Indeed, Lagosians love life and live it to the fullest. There are several other factors that make the city tick. Birds, during the rainy season, the mood is dampened literally by the resultant effects of heavy floods. People whose homes were overwhelmed by these annual menace in June this year recount the negative event.
If it's raining like this, I can't stay inside the house with my kids. My kids cannot stay inside. Even if I enter the sitting room, the water will pass my waist.
If you look at the houses here, they're all cracking because of water. And the flood comes from the canal. Even when it does not rain at times, water just comes back from the canal and flows into the street and overtakes the street.
Especially the canal. If they can find a way to reduce the water from it, dredge it.
Yes, there is a drainage system connecting the canals across the state, but they are barely effective. This blocks canal in Onyadiran Estate on the mainland, residents say, is responsible for incessant flooding year in, year out in the layout.
A lot of houses have encroached into the canal. Of course, if you look around here, the houses that are not meant to be on the canal. The width of the canal now, we cannot establish it because houses have been built on it. Just all around here, so because it's from here even down to the other side of the estate. Houses have been built on the canal. And of course, maybe a bit of refuse dumps too.
Joy Bokwe is the special advisor to the Lagos State government on drains.
The lagoon is the level, that's all. Sometimes it goes up, and sometimes it goes down. If it goes down, the water will flow. If it goes up, it will flow. So what we did is to put 2 pumping stations there. 2 pumps. And they're taking the water out. They work 16 hours a day. Is there working now? For plastics they are throwing into the drains, we are putting nets now. If you go to Alaka now, if you are going to Lagos, if you get to Alaka, stop and look left. You will see water hyacinth, you will see so many things, plastic and all that. If you put net there, it will not go. Then you can't come and pack it. That's what we want to do now. We are going out this Sunday. And when we go out, we move with a team.
Lagos State Emergency Management Agency, LASEMA, also reacted to this recurring decimal.
We appeal to the people that are living in where the flood is more vulnerable to leave that place and move to the place that the flood will not affect them, the highland area. That's one. Number 2, we've started improving on our drainage system. You get that to say clearing the primary way, the secondary drainage system, and the tertiary drainage system.
The verdict remains clearing the canals of refuse and enforcement of the prohibition of indiscriminate dumping of refuse. In Lagos, Annie Daniels, Nta News.
Similarly, Lagos residents living in flood-prone areas are beside themselves with worry as the rains continue spanning many days. Diana Jale examines the challenges of the season and its effects on socio-economic activities.
Few vehicles on roads and sparse business activities are what Nigeria's commercial hub now present on a daily basis. The calm after the storm is yet to occur as the rains come down heavy every day, depriving the city's landscape the much needed ray of sunshine.
Because of this area where we do, especially this sand where they put for road, they disturb us small rain like this, the thing don't scatter on my market. See my market here, dust everywhere, just they rough.
The rainy season, it used to affect the masses.
The complaints notwithstanding, the rainy season has its positive sides, which are pleasing to most people, especially farmers. Without substantial rainfall, food sufficiency will not be achievable. Yet, the season most times leaves the majority, particularly people in coastal areas like Lagos, anxious. Those affected cross their fingers, willing a suspension of the rains.
They are affecting everywhere. They are affecting business. Both the people that are selling, people that are cooking, people that are selling.
For us to get us to access the main expressway, we have to go through all sorts of transportation means just to get by.
Dealing with consequences like flooding, building collapse, and property wreckage, among others, are calamities the world rather not experience. Residents all acknowledge that the solution to flooding is ensuring that the drainage systems are functional. This can only happen after the drains and canals are free of waste and other blockages. In Lagos, Diana Ajale, Nta News.
And away from issues of flooding, the Nigerian Society of Engineers has unveiled its scholarship scheme for the 2020 best students in Unified Tertiary Matriculation Examination in Engineering. 16 students are to benefit from the scholarship of 1 million naira each for 5 years. Ken Egbelugi completes the report.
Egwagwagu Maduafukwa is among 16 students to benefit from the scholarship scheme by the Nigerian Society of Engineers. She was the best female student with 365 scores. Egwagwagu is to pursue industrial production engineering at the University of Ibadan. She says the 1 million naira annual scholarship for 5 years by the Nigerian Society of Engineers will to a large extent reduce the burden on her parents.
It's going to ease the stress of paying school fees for my parents because we already have 4 siblings that they are also funding for.
To make the best use of my time in the university, I'll ensure to study very hard so that I can become a good engineer and contribute to Nigeria, give back to my society in the future.
To inspire other students
and we help them to read and learn, so that the advantage these are the advantages they can get it from their education.
Due to the critical role engineering profession plays in evolving societies where technical skills and creativity are highly sought after, the Nigerian Society of Engineers have taken the initiative to encourage students interested in the study of engineering.
These are 16 best candidates of the 2020 UTME examination conducted by JAM. All of them say they want to read engineering. And I am the president of the Nigerian Society of Engineers. I am very proud. We are very proud of this. For them to agree to read engineering, we are very proud. And it is the onus now on us to support them. We support them financially. We are going to support them by mentoring. The intention is we are going to give them support here in Nigeria on scholarship, and then we'll attach mentors to each of them to guide them to completion, successful completion. Because most of them derail at year 3, year 4.
I'm thankful to NSE for pulling them together, to offering them this scholarship, but most importantly is the mentorship. Mentorship is what will guide them throughout the 5 years of the engineering program. So I'm glad they have taken interest.
This is the maiden scholarship scheme by the Nigerian Society of Engineers in Lagos. Ken Igbeluge, Nta2 News.
After 6 months of living at the Igondo relief camp, 300 internally displaced persons of the Abule-Egba pipeline explosion have received financial assistance from the Lagos State government to begin life afresh. While at the camp, they acquired skills through various vocational training programs. Here's the report. Awe Odunayo and Anna Olumote are among 300 IDPs, the lucky ones who not only survived the Abule-Egba fire disaster of January 19, 2020, but now have something to look forward to. Following the explosion in January, the Lagos State government took responsibility of their well-being, partnering the Ministry of Poverty Alleviation to build the capacity of victims at the Igondo relief camp. 6 months after, these men and women, including their children, have every reason to be thankful.
I thank God for Lagos State, for what they have done for us. I am a retiree of 35 years.
As they depart the camp, the Lagos State government disbursed 225,000 naira to each household, while individuals received checks of 150,000 naira each.
Thank the Lagos State government and thank them for taking care of me.
Startup packs for budding businesses were also presented during their stay in camp.
During this process, we improve their psychological thinking, social welfare were given to them. Children were taken to their various schools, so there was no distractions of their education.
The pipeline explosion, which occurred in January, was as a result of the nefarious activities of vandals. Several lives were lost and many displaced. To the judiciary now, the Federal High Court sitting in Lagos has sentenced 3 persons to 1 year imprisonment each for illegally dealing in petroleum products. The 3 persons, Edward Alade, Emmanuel Amaikwe, and Kennedy Shegbenu, were arraigned by the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, EFCC, on a 3-count charge bordering on illegal dealing in petroleum products. Tunde Saiki reports.
The 3 accused persons were arraigned before Justice Riwan Aikawa, and they all pleaded guilty to the 3-count charge levied against them. They were said to be dealing in 330 metric tons of petroleum products without appropriate license and attempting to export same products. In view of their guilty plea, the EFCC counsel Kamil Bashir called the prosecution witness Remedy Yange, an operative of the commission, to review the facts of the case. He told the court that the Nigerian Navy NNS Brigade Apapa apprehended the suspect and handed them over to the EFCC for investigation and prosecution, adding that the defendants were illegally dealing in the products. Based on the evidence before the court, the trial judge found them guilty of all the counts. Justice Riwan Aikawa then sentenced the defendants to 1 year in prison each. their sentence to run concurrently from the date of their arrest. The judge further ordered the forfeiture of the MT Magburg vessel to the federal government along with the cargo on board and any other property found in the vessel. In Lagos, Tunde Saiki, Nta News.
And the report ends the news at this hour. Thank you so much for watching. Remember, stay safe.
You must have seen some online videos showing scenes of what happened recently in some branches of commercial banks and BRT terminals. Looking critically at these videos, it shows that some Nigerians threw caution to the wind, risking their lives upon the gradual lifting of the lockdown. In this time of the COVID-19 pandemic, it is important we remind ourselves some salient information and precautions needed to combat the pandemic. What is COVID-19? Information released by the World Health Organization, WHO, concerning the virus includes COVID is pneumonia of unknown cause, detected in Wuhan, China. It was first reported to the World Health Organization country office in China on 31st December 2019. The outbreak was declared a public health emergency of international concern on 30th January 2020. On 11 February 2020, WHO announced a name for the new coronavirus disease, COVID-19. How does it spread? COVID-19 is spread through respiratory droplets when an infected person coughs, sneezes, or speaks. People can also be infected by touching a contaminated surface and then touching their eyes, mouth, or nose. How can one prevent getting infected? Some myths hold that the virus is killed by high temperature. Exposing yourself to the sun or to the temperatures higher than 25 degrees centigrade does not prevent coronavirus disease, COVID-19. You can be infected with COVID-19 no matter how sunny or how the weather is. Countries without hot weather have reported cases of COVID-19. To protect yourself, make sure you wash your hands frequently and thoroughly, and avoid touching your eyes, mouth, and nose. Very importantly, you must avoid contact with persons who may be infected. To this end, physical distancing, use of face mask, repeated washing of the hands with soap, and application of sanitizer cannot be overemphasized. Do not throw caution to the wind. Be mindful of your health and the safety of your loved ones. Do not throw your family into mourning. Stay safe. Ensure you practice social distancing. COVID-19 is here. Together, we can prevent this.
This message is brought to you by Nta2 Lagos, your reach out station.
na-agbagharị na soshal midia ugbu a ebe onye isi ala mba Guinea bụ Alpha Conde na-agwa ndị be ha na ịchọọ ịgbanahụ ọrịa coronavirus na gị were ihe na-ekpo ekpo tinye na mmiri ọkụ na-aṅụ maọbụ were ya na-ete n'ime gị oge ọbụla. O nweghị ihe nyocha ọbụla na-egosi na nke a bụ eziokwu. Naanị otu ga-esi gbanarị ọrịa bụ idobe iwu WHO na ndị ọkachamara ndị ọzọ wepụtara, nke gụnyere ịkwacha aka gị oge niile, ịchọ izi imi ime etu a, nakwa ị na-ewepụga onwe gị iche bụ nke bekee kpọrọ social distancing. Ịmara anyị na-atụpenyekarị azụ tupu anyị ana. Ịma na oge mkpọchi obodo a nwere ike na-agbakasị mmadụ ahụ, nwere ike na-akpatara di na nwunye ụmụ kịrịkịrị esemokwu ndị a. Ya bụ iji zere ụmụ ihe ndị a, ya bụ ịnọkọta iwepụta oge ga-eji banye n'ime onwe gị ka gị na onwe gị kpaa nkata ka isi kpakọ ọgụ ọnụ, mana nke ka mkpa n'ihe niile abụ na ihe nwere mbido ga-enwe ọgwụgwụ, na-abụ na-akwacha aka gị oge niile ma nọrọ n'ụlọ.
Now, $61.6 billion, that's the amount of losses that the global sporting industry is counting in 2020 alone. This is due to the disruption of the sporting calendar following the global coronavirus attack. Revenue from tournaments, broadcasting deals, sponsorship contracts, and match tickets have been completely wiped out. This in turn has dug deep financial holes in the pockets of not just sports personalities, but also for support industries such as merchandise, betting, and ticketing. What is the future of sports? And can players do without the atmosphere that fans bring to the game? My name is Sharon Mashira. Now, major events across the world have been put on timeout as the global sporting industry awaits a slam dunk against the coronavirus. A multi-billion-dollar industry is at stake as the financial wreckage has become devastatingly clear. Here's how hard sporting in Africa has been hit.
It's definitely a tough time to be an athlete. We're not even halfway through 2020, but the coronavirus has dealt a heavy blow to sportsmen, sportswomen, and sports companies all over the world. Take, for example, rugby. My Players, a South African rugby organization, has said that $65 million will be lost if no rugby is played for the entire year. But let's not forget, South Africa has a debt relief fund all the way to $8 million for athletes and artists. Like basketball, just the other day we saw the NBA-backed Africa League postponed indefinitely. As you'd imagine, cash is tight, and players who are doing it officially now have to take up side jobs. In Cameroon, for example, basketball players are now PE teachers. In Nigeria, basketball players hired by clubs that are run by the government are considered as civil servants, and therefore they earn a salary, anything up to $210 a month. For players outside the continent, the terms are a bit different. Evelyn Akatori is one example. She's a Nigerian professional playing in the French Women's Basketball League. She earns anything up to $20,000 per month. But starting June, her salary will be cut by 14%, with the rest being paid by the government. Now for athletics, it's a similar scenario. Between January and June, we would have seen the Diamond League, Shanghai races, Indo championships, marathons, just to name a few. The income of most athletes will plummet to zero, and those on contracts will lose up to 40 to 70% of their income. Why? Because athletes are paid to play, which means less races equals less money. And finally, football. One of East Africa's leagues, the Kenya Premier League, pays 50% of its footballers an average salary of $200. This is hardly enough to stretch till the end of the month, and most players normally look forward to travel allowances or bonuses. But again, no games equals no money. The disparity in the sport is also very noticeable. The BBC sports team went digging and found out that African female footballers are paid just about $100 or less per month, which means they have to get the extra income from another job. But now, with the pandemic, both jobs are suffering and cut off from income. But it's not all gloom and doom. Football's governing body, FIFA, for example, has committed $150 million as relief to over 200 national football bodies all across the world. Different countries have had their own interventions and taken advantage of this. Sierra Leone, for example, donated close to $70,000 to football clubs. We also saw Uganda donating 12 tons of rice to players and their families and officials. Now, the pandemic will stay with us, and that means that the dark cloud will continue to linger. As long as the pandemic stays with us, events remain cancelled, and just like us here, stadiums remain silent.
Well, for most sports personalities, the movement restrictions have taken away their only source of livelihood, and with no indication on when they can get back to the game, athletes have become a worrisome lot.
2020 was widely referred to as the athletics year because of the number of events due to take place. Now, Africa is home to some of the world record holders and Olympic champions, and many of these athletes rely on performance-based earnings. They are now feeling the crunch.
It's a struggling time for us athletes now, just to keep our career going, not to try to get to the next place of anything. Not now cancel 2 races, the Shanghai races and there's the Monday races. I lost over $20,000, which I was assured of money that at this one I'll get it. I was assured with the level of fitness I was to that I'll definitely get top 3. I get my living from running, I get paid for running, so which means less races, I'm not going to get my payment.
For some sport persons, however, this unexpected timeout is a blessing in disguise. How, you may ask? Well, some players are recovering from injuries, and what better time to recover without actually missing a game? Tottenham's Harry Kane and Real Madrid's Eden Hazard are some of those who are recovering, while the 2012 Olympic swimming champion Chad Leclerc took advantage of the calm to get surgery done. For those who worry about their sport muscles wasting away, some ingenious do-it-yourself tactics are keeping them active from the convenience of their homes. Conseslus Kipruto, the 3,000-meter steeplechase champion, will be ready to hit the ground running when the whistle blows again. Thanks to his not-so-simple routine, his sofa cushions are just about all he needs to get ready for his next international race.
My name is Conseslus Kipruto, wall and Olympic 3,000 meters.
No water jump, I have it sorted at my backyard.
To my fellow athletes, let's observe calm directive. Train alone, wash your hands regularly. We will be back on track soon.
In Uganda, rally driver Musan Subuga has found a way to keep his adrenaline rushing and his hands on the wheel through e-sport racing. He's among 20 rally drivers in East Africa who've so far held at least 3 tournaments online.
The internet connection is very, very poor, and then it's quite expensive this side. You know, playing online, you need a lot of data. If you play late in the night, it's good. It's quite fair. I actually learn a lot from calling notes, and then it also improves your driving because it's 95% real.
UK-based Somali boxer Ramla Ali, who despite fasting during Ramadan has also been training from her living room at least twice a day with the help of her husband Richard Moore, who's helping her keep up with the schedule.
But I won't stop pushing for inclusion, and I won't stop trying to be an inspiration and a role model to young girls, especially in developing countries, and to show them that, you know, they can make it onto those type of stages if they want to. So yeah, I won't. If it doesn't happen, it's obviously a shame, but yeah, I won't stop fighting.
Beyond sports personalities, millions of fans who flocked stadiums, rushed to local pubs to cheer their teams over a drink, or religiously followed their favorite athletes to the end of the race on TV, have also had to find ways to adjust to a life without live sport.
When you watch football without fans, it more looks like a glorified training session, to be honest. And I had to adjust by and large to long weekends. I remember sometimes a few friends and I would ask ourselves, so now that it's Saturday, what do we do?
You know, football has been great for us. You go watch a game, and within 90 minutes you've made friends with a total stranger. For some of us as football fans as well, football is a great emotional escape for us. You've had a bad week and can just go watch a game and just to relax yourself and take your mind off things.
You can't help but wonder, what does the future of sports really look like? Is this the defining moment for the sporting industry? Well, to help us make sense of the challenges and the way forward for the industry is Celestine Caronay. She's BBC Africa's sports journalist. Celeste, interesting times we live in, right?
Definitely.
What is it like actually for you not being able to report on active sports right now?
The best thing about journalism is there's always a story to tell. So you're looking at many sports journalists going back to some of the features they've always wanted to do, some of the interviews they've always wanted to do in long piece, you know, because then you would get probably more airtime putting it out there on digital. But again, the best thing about sport is sport makes memories. And most of these memories are the kind that when you relive them, it's almost as though you're watching them for the first time. So yes, it is a global timeout for sport, but the story's on end.
So of course, everybody loves going to live games. I've been to some myself. Do you think sports can survive without that atmosphere?
Well, right now, it is an issue of how you look at it. Mm-hmm. I personally want to look at the glass half full and not half empty. Because, yes, atmosphere, the culture, the fans. These stadiums mean nothing without these people. These venues mean nothing without all those people who come to watch. But for now, public health dictates that it is for their own safety that they'll not be there. So for many fans, well, we'll accept that we can watch our sports from home, from our couches and on TV. For the players, it's going to be a little bit difficult, but I think they too are just happy to be able to come back, to be able to come and play a sport and continue making a living like they used to. So it is a thing of everybody adapting and it's a lot of give and take rather.
Hard times indeed, Celeste, yeah?
Yeah, definitely. But well, it's across the industry, so.
There is a flip side, though, to this pandemic. With more time on their hands and less pollution on the roads, a good number of people living in cities across the continent have taken advantage of the downtime to also get sporty. But with gyms closed, people have had to be creative and driven to keep fit. From running within curfew hours to adopting new home workout routines, others have turned to various social media platforms and apps online for exercise. But it can be overwhelming. So what would be an easier or basic workout to keep you healthy and looking fabulous during and after this lockdown season?
Robin Riley is a fitness expert from Kigali, Rwanda. She's going to give us a few tips of working out at home, and she's going to also show me a few tips.
You can use the chair that you are sitting on, like doing your triceps or biceps. You can use the books for abs. You just need to be in the right position for your abs. You can use the bottle of water, like the big bottle of water.
So there are so many videos online, and I've personally tried to work out at home, but it can be a bit confusing. So as an expert, what advice would you give me when it comes to getting good workout videos?
It depends on whatever you want to work out on. Like if you want to do your butt, your stomach, your arms, your like warm up, your cardio, you can still do it at home.
Okay then, let's work out.
Sure. Yeah. 8, 9, 10. So you make sure you bend your back very well.
Okay.
Yeah, then we do like 10 times. It's in 3.
Okay.
4. And abs with we use the books, right? Okay. So you can just stay here. Okay.
Thank you very much for your time. Bye. Okay, so there are 2 things we've learned from this. First, before you look for any workout videos online, make sure you know what part of the body you want to work on. 2, you can use any basic home essentials that you have to build muscle and strength. You can use a water bottle, a book, and a chair.
It's time for a short break now, but when we come back, millions of people in the sports support industry are also reeling from the financial blow occasioned by the COVID-19 pandemic. Catch you after the break.
It's been a